Hi, I'm Raphael Leah.
And I'm John Jackson, and once again,
This is Ethan Illers.
And this is the Mancave.
Hi guys, today we have a double team debate for you. We got Daniel Murphy versus Ben Zobrist. Who would have been a better choice for the New York Mets? Me and Ethan here, we say Daniel Murphy would not be that guy. We think Ben Zobrist much better. John disagrees. You want to start us off?
Yes. Now, obviously, I am a Met fan. I do have Met bias, but at the same time, I want what's best for the Mets. I feel Daniel Murphy would have been better. However, I think we all agree, Neil Walker, who is now the second baseman, he is the better choice out of two of them. But for a while, we had Daniel Murphy or Ben Zobrist. I feel Daniel Murphy would have been much better. He's younger, cheaper contract, better stats last year and recently. He's improving. Kevin Long helped him to the point where he had 14 home runs, the most he's ever had, 7 in the postseason. I'm not even including the postseason in most of my stats, but that postseason goes to show he's very valuable, not just in the regular season, but in the postseason.
Okay, that's gonna be the only point I agree with you on is the contract. Is that you got
not the age?
He would have been too expensive. Age doesn't compromise skill.
Interesting.
Defensive ability, we've seen, despite being older, he's still a much better defender than Daniel Murphy is.
I agree.
And that's with age. Ethan, you want to get on this?
I think, I think also touching on your versatility of Ben Zobrist, I think Ben Zobrist would have been a great option for the Mets. God forbid one of their starting outfielders gets hurt, Zobrist can slide into the outfield. Duda needs a rest, they could put Zobrist over at first base. Murphy could have done it too, I understand. But then again, Murphy is not an outfielder. Zobrist can play, he can play probably all outfield positions. He could be the emergency catcher if you want.
Versatility is a big thing in the MLB. I think in most sports. You have to agree with that.
Yeah, versatility is important. Daniel Murphy is versatile.
Where?
Let me speak about this. Okay, so Daniel Murphy in an interview said, I am not good at any position, but I could play.
Ooh, that sounds versatile.
But I could play every position. Mediocre.
Because that's what the Mets need. They need a mediocre, versatile defender.
Defensive. Now, let me mention this, okay?
Defensive.
So he can play other positions. So he doesn't play it well, but that's not my argument. Defense is the least of my worries. You gotta remember, this isn't just on any team. We're talking about the New York Mets. The New York Mets pitching staff is, I believe, and I think you guys could say, one of the best, if not the best.
Of course.
I would say
no question.
We have the biggest strikeout pitchers. Defense, especially in one position, that's not going to affect us too much. Really not.
The World Series showed that defense does matter.
He's right. He is very right. But at the same time, we have no offense. That's why our defense looks important. I say go after more offense because I'm sick of these 2-1, 3-2 games which we lose. Which you can say it's defense. I don't agree. That's one position. I say it's offense. And Daniel Murphy, in those games that were 2-1, 3-2, he scored 1, if not 2, if not all 3 of those runs. So Daniel Murphy contributed a lot offensively, and I feel his offensive abilities trumps Ben Zobrist's versatility and defense.
You know, I'm going to make a point out here too. I think that Daniel Murphy was loved by Mets fans. He was a consistent average hitter.
Consistent.
His average, but normally here's the thing, Ben Zobrist and Daniel Murphy, if you looked at it, they normally hit for pretty similar averages. They normally do hit for pretty similar averages, but what Daniel Murphy doesn't do that Ben Zobrist can do is that Ben Zobrist can get it done on the base paths as well. He can steal base when he needs to get into scoring position.
And that's again more versatility, even on the offense. I feel that he has more of what you want in an all-around baseball player than Daniel Murphy had. Stealing bases.
Now, you mentioned stealing bases, and you have stats in front of you. Do you have any stolen base stats?
Yes, I do.
Okay, what's his highest season?
I don't have that. I have his career stolen bases.
How many?
105.
105. He does have a lot of stolen bases. He has a lot more seasons, too.
And that's combined with a really good slugging percentage as well. So
Daniel Murphy has a good...
but without stolen bases.
He does.
Stolen bases.
Daniel Murphy...
57 stolen bases.
Yeah.
In 7 seasons.
You gotta understand, though.
Baseball.
Let me read stolen bases of Daniel Murphy. He started out 2008, and he missed 2010 to injury. He had 0 the first year, 4 and 5. Not great. Then 10, 23, 13. Last year, however, only 2. Now, you gotta remember, and these guys will probably bring it up, so I might as well bring it up now. Daniel Murphy is a fool on the base path sometimes. So recently what he's been trying to do is not steal as many. Now, caught stealings, you're going to be surprised. The most caught stealings he had in a season was 5. He had it twice in 2011 and 2014.
Out of how many attempts, if you have that?
I do not have the attempts, but I'm saying
That'd be interesting to see.
comparing the stolen bases to caught stealing, he has much more. Recently, last season, again, he didn't steal. He had 2 stolen bases, 2 caught stealing. He stopped running, so he wouldn't be as much of a fool on the base pass. However, I do watch pretty much every game. He makes some of the smartest moves and some of the dumbest moves. As a player, really, you don't know what to expect.
I'm glad you like that uncertainty and that up down. But I think for most major league teams, what we want is consistency, versatility, smartness on the base pad, smartness on defense, and that's something I have not seen from Daniel Murphy.
Yeah, you mentioned that, right? That's his weakness. His inconsistency and running and defense is his weakness. I focus on what he brings to the table offensively. And what he brings to the table
You
offensively...
just said offensively he was still up down.
No, he's not.
You said bad decisions on the base pads. Is that not offensive?
I'm saying from an offensive standpoint, RBIs,
that's
home
offensive.
runs...
What settled on the base pads is just as important as hitting a
That's
single or hitting a home
That's
run.
a different part of the game. Stolen bases.
It's still a part of the
So
game.
you're gonna say an MVP becomes an MVP with stolen bases as a part of their
It
offense?
certainly helps when you're
Miguel
separating one
Cabrera.
player from it. It certainly
Miguel
helps
Cabrera.
when you're Miguel Cabrera, you don't need to be separated by that stat. But when you're Ben Zobrist against Daniel Murphy, that's the kind of stat
If I could make a point coming in here too, guys.
Go ahead, John. Ethan.
John, I'm surprised, John, you've been a mess with me your whole life. You watched Daniel Murphy. I'm surprised you haven't grown. I'm surprised that you haven't gone bald yet. And you pulling your hair out after all these Mets losses these past couple years. I mean, I'm sure you pulled your hair out at some points.
I see a little patch right there.
Yeah. Anyway, though, what I'm saying is, here's the thing. Daniel Murphy was a pretty decent hitter at the plate too, but once Kevin Long got in, he started hitting much better. But here's the thing: Ben Zobrist has been a consistent hitter his whole career.
Yeah.
No matter what team he's been on, like the Rays. Of course, the Rays are probably the most worthless franchise in baseball right now.
Of course.
But the Rays aren't a good team. Zobrist was hitting on that team. He goes to Oakland. Oakland wasn't that good this year also, but he was hitting well. Goes to Kansas City. He's surrounded by some good players like Alex Gordon, Lorenzo Cain, and Hosmer.
Definitely,
Perez.
definitely some teams that do not have coaching.
And
around
he
them.
contributed mightily to the Royals World Series run. And let me tell you, if the Mets did sign Ben Zobrist, when he goes back to Kauffman Stadium for opening day when the Royals play the Mets, the Royals fans would have given him a standing ovation.
Of course.
I think so.
Of course.
Now for our closing arguments. I'll start it off. I just think Daniel Murphy is a better investment at this time based on age and recent offensive numbers that he's put up, along with the fact that he is cheaper and the fact that he has less years. All together, that's a package, plus we have consistency. Altogether, that's a package that I think is a better investment than Ben Zobrist.
You know, that's a great point, John, but I'm leaning more towards Ben Zobrist because Daniel Murphy started hitting very well this year. He was pretty good, you know, the years prior, but once Kevin Long came in here, Daniel Murphy started hitting much better this year. But then again, Ben Zobrist has been consistent for pretty much his whole career. He's smarter on the base pass. He's more versatile. He's better defensively. I just think Ben Zobrist is the better package for the Mets.
That's where I'm going with consistency, versatility, awareness on the base pads, defensive ability. He just trumps Daniel Murphy in too many categories to ignore. Again, finances are the only reason why I would say Daniel Murphy was a smarter pick. But if I had a choice between both of them, no money involved, I'm picking Ben Zobrist any day of the week.
Let us know what you think.
Yeah.
Comment section, definitely.
Yeah, comment below. Let us know what you
Please
think.
do.
We want to thank Ethan Illich for coming today
Thank you.
again. Thank you guys for watching. I'm Rafael Elia.
And I'm John Jackson.
And this has been the Man Cave.